Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another podcast. You would not believe who we have on. Check this out, Jordyn Sugar. Hey.
Hey, thank you for having me.
And if you say good in her shoes, and the pop world is starting to agree. So,
Mhm,
one thing about Jordan is she's born in Toronto and now based in Montreal.
mhm.
Jordyn Sugar is a 22-year-old singer songwriter. I believe you're 22 still, right? You're not
I just
23.
turned 23 actually 2 weeks ago, so now I'm
Happy
23.
birthday. So she's
Thank you.
23-year-old singer songwriter, instrumentalist, and a creator of what she calls empowered pop. I'd be interested in knowing what that's about.
Yes.
Now, that's a sound rooted in confidence, authenticity, and self expression, with early support from names like Justin Bieber, Backstreet Boys, AJ McLean, and legendary executive Vito Luprano. Jordyn has quickly carved out her own lane in a highly competitive industry. From
Mhm.
your debut single, Leaves Me, which earned over 300,000 YouTube views and radio play. Congratulations.
Thank you.
To Summer High, Good in My Shoes, and Stranger, Jordyn has steadily built momentum, not just as a musician, but as a voice challenging unrealistic standards around beauty, fashion, and identity. And you're going to find this funny, but you know Britney Spears' song called Oops?
Yes.
Well, now she has a YouTube views, so what is it? 300,000 YouTube views on radio play to Summer High, right? Is that it?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so your latest single, Oops. That's a bold, guitar driven pop anthem fueled by early 2000s nostalgia,
Yeah.
unapologetic confidence, and infectious hooks, which I like. Beyond the music, Jordyn has also stepped into the spotlight as host and TikTok correspondent for the fashion hero. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Reinforcing your role as both artist and advocate for a new definition of beauty. Awesome. Now, Jordyn has millions of streams, a rapidly growing fan base, and message, and I'm also one of your fans as well. And a
Thank you.
message that resonates deeply with Gen Z. Jordyn Sugar isn't just rising; she's leading a movement. Hello, welcome to the show, Jordyn. Pleased to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. That's a beautiful introduction. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I did a lot of research on you.
Could tell
So
you got all of it.
yeah. So let me ask you. Let's go back to the beginning. Knowing that you just turned 23 2 weeks ago, what was it like growing up, and when was it that you wanted to get into music?
Yeah, growing up, I was always super into music. I mean, I don't remember a time before music. If I wasn't singing, I was playing the drums, I was tapping my feet, I was strumming a guitar, playing piano, da da da, it goes on and on. So it all started though, really, when I was 3 years old. I had an electric kit at home, electric drum kit at home, and I would just honestly pick up the sticks and play. Um, and I actually held a rhythm and a natural kind of beat that I had in me. I guess that's kind of a gift since I guess I was born. It's something that you can't really be taught at that age. You just kind of it's just instincts, right? So I would just pick up sticks and I kind of knew what to do and I'd follow a beat as best as I could hear, which is not often you see a 3-year old doing that. And I think early on it just kind of showed my passion for music and instruments and singing. Yeah, so that's kind of how that started.
And then you fell in love with music, and then you decided to
Okay.
start playing the drums at 3 years old, and that's incredible. How did that early
Thank you.
start shape your identity as an artist? You're welcome.
I think it's because I think the drums hold such a big place in my heart. So I think that it always was there and it was always kind of the base of who I was as a person. I was always a drummer. What are you? Oh, I'm a drummer and I do this and I do this. It was always something I would start with because it was probably one of my biggest talents, right? So I would always introduce myself as a drummer, and it just helped me with my music with as a whole with my music because I'm able to understand how music works because drums they have such a big part in music and holding a beat and a tempo and a time signature. That's it's not common that you see, especially a female singer that could also play drums. Or actually, when I first started, I was more a drummer that can sing, but now I kind of identify myself as a singer who could drum. So it kind of changed the narrative. Sorry, my dog's barking.
Do you know the name of another singer who could sing and drum at the same time?
Sheila E.
Yeah, okay, Sheila E. But Phil Collins from Genesis?
Oh, Phil Collins. I thought you meant female, but yes, yes, Phil
No, I
is
see
my
what you'll say.
biggest,
Yeah, yeah. Sheila E. Right, right.
one of my biggest inspirations is actually Phil Collins.
So I'd like to ask you, Jordyn, about what did Justin Bieber's encouragement mean to you at that stage in your journey?
Oops, I woke up in your bed. I don't know your name, but you're stuck in my head like oops. Won't tell my friends. I know I'm missing, but I got no regrets. Last night, vision got blurry, acting like someone else. Red lights, I'm in no hurry, feeling like my old self. Now we're in the taxi, you got your hands all on me. Sitting in the backseat, acting like someone else. Oops, I woke up in your bed. I don't know your name, but you're stuck in my head like oops. Won't tell my friends. I know I'm missing, but I got no regrets. I just needed your touch, and I just wanted your love. Oops, I woke up in your bed. I don't know your name, but you're stuck in my head like oops, oops, oops. I don't know your name, but you're stuck in my head like oops, oops, oops. I know I'm missing, but I got no regrets. No lights, your body was my focus, making me lose control. I felt right, caught up in the moment, we just went with the flow. I don't normally do this for you, I guess I broke the rules. I don't know what got into me, but I kinda like it. Oh well. Oops, I woke up in your bed. I don't know your name, but you're stuck in my head like oops. Won't tell my friends. I know I'm missing, but I got no regrets. I just needed your touch, and I just wanted your love. Oops, I woke up in your bed. I don't know your name, but you're stuck in my head like oops, oops, oops. I don't know your name, but you're stuck in my head like oops, oops, oops. Oh well. I know I'm missing, but I got no regrets. Oops, oops, oops. I don't know your name, but you're stuck in my head like oops, oops, oops. I know I'm missing, but I got no regrets.
Justin Bieber, it changed my life, honestly, because I didn't have any self confidence. I had none, had absolutely none. And when I first posted that first video and it went viral of me singing Justin Bieber's song, I was like, okay, I'm onto something. And then when Justin reposted me singing, it just confirmed that much more that like this is not just a hobby anymore. This could be a life. This could be my job. This could be something I do on a day-to-day basis. And I really didn't see it as that before because I didn't even think I was a good singer. So
Mm.
it was it's kind of crazy how it everything took a turn.
I think you're doing well. You're very talented.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And you dancing like this with the microphone. It's like, whoa, you rock out. I love it.
Well,
Woohoo.
yeah, dancing is always something I wanted to do, but I've also never been great at dancing and I've tried to kind of tie it in with my singing. So every day I just try to work on some dancing or some moves and stuff like that. So it's good.
What kind of, give me the list of, like, you're a multi-instrumentalist. I know that you play the drums and you sing. So that's two instruments, of course. So what are the other instruments you can play?
I can play drums, piano, and guitar. Those are like my three top, but I would say that piano and drums are my two best. And then guitar is just something I know how to play. Like I can play like a campfire song, but I can't really do much better than that for now. But I'm working on it.
Yeah, what one do you think you play better and excel at?
Drums, for sure.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
because drumming is I've been doing it since I was 3, and again I was like I wanted to be a drummer, and then I started singing, and then it kind of became now like now I could do both. And then I got better almost at singing and it became more of a passion singing than drumming. But recently I got back into the drumming because I did a collab with Yamaha and they sent me a kit in exchange for
Nice.
videos. So I got back into drumming and I have a brand new electric kit that I haven't stopped playing since.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
for you,
it's
Jordan.
awesome.
Good for you. So, how did working with Vito Luprano influence your vocal style and artistic direction?
Honestly, that's what kind of started everything, right? He after the after Bieber noticed me, Vito was the first person that was like, "Hey, I want to work with you. You're good."
You put your arms around me, but still you're miles away. It's like your heart is closing, and I don't have a say. Now we go back every morning, picking stupid fights with teardrops in our eyes. I hate that I see you lying between the lines. You pull me closer like you're leaving, and it leaves me so down. Don't wanna tell me what you're feeling, but it feels like you're out. I know we've been caught up in the middle, with everything breaking just a little love. Don't pull me closer like you're leaving, 'cause it leaves me so down. Don't wanna think about it, don't wanna think it through. It seems to me we'll be hurting no matter what we do. Now we go back every morning, picking stupid fights with teardrops in our eyes. I hate that I see you lying between the lines. You pull me closer like you're leaving, and it leaves me so down. Don't wanna tell me what you're feeling, but it feels like you're out. I know we've been caught up in the middle, with everything breaking just a little love. Don't pull me closer like you're leaving, 'cause it leaves me so down. 'Cause it leaves me so down. 'Cause it leaves me so down.
Vito Luprano first started working with me when I started my career at 16, 17. And he had worked with Celine Dion, right? He was the executive producer for Celine Dion. So you can only imagine how I felt when I got the call, like someone like like Celine Dion's ex-executive producer wants to work with you. And I was blown away. I was like, what? Like me? Like I'm 17. I'm like not even that good. And I guess I was wrong. You know, in my head, I didn't think I was anything special, but after the Bieber thing, my confidence took a turn for the best. And now I'm almost too confident sometimes where I'm like, I wish I wasn't. So when I wasn't as confident, I worked 10 times harder to get better. Now I'm not, I have a lot of confidence. But sometimes I get too in my head. And then when somebody's like, that didn't sound good, I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I thought I sounded great. You get so in your head. Anyways, but I'm working on it. I've been working on my voice since I was 13 all alone. I had vocal coaching only when I started working with Vito in 2020. So leading up to before that, it was all me. It was just myself self-training.
Well, Vito saw something in you. That's why he chose you. So maybe you're going to be the next Celine Dion.
Well, that would be that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm working towards.
Jordan, it'll be like Jordan Lynn Sugar.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Just trying to just trying to get there. And it's a process, but I'm having a lot of fun, and I think I'm on the right track. You never really know in this industry what the right track looks like, but definitely think I'm in a good direction for sure.
I'm really happy about that, Jordan. So, looking back, what was the first real breakthrough moment where everything started to feel real?
Yeah, I think when my music started playing on the radio, on Virgin Radio here in Montreal, that changed everything because I was like, I'm on the radio in my own city, and like my friends would send me videos like, "Look, I hear you on the radio," and that was almost like that was a big starstruck moment for me. I was like, "Wow, it's actually happening." But I have so many, and I'm just grateful for the last few years of experience that I've been given. I've opened up for many artists. I work with AJ McLean from the Backstreet Boys. That was a huge moment for me. The Bieber thing I think is honestly number one, but everything else is a close second.
That's amazing. Wow. So, your sound, Jordan, blends pop, rock, and rhythm and blues. How do you intentionally craft that mix in the studio?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is kind of like it's all instinct, and it's kind of just subconscious because I grew up listening to classic rock, and that's why I can play the drums because I would listen. I mean, I have, if you saw my posters on my wall, I have Rush, I have Genesis, I have, all these drummers, and, all my favorites are from that time, the 80s and 70s. So I think naturally I have this kind of, I could have this classic rock, maybe a little rasp in my voice that would be tied more to rock. But then I also have like the pop, which is I think just the sound that I'm going for. But then R&B I think is a lot of influence from Bieber and from I don't really know. I think I've always loved R&B. I loved like Boys to Men, and I even think even Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, if you listen to their runs, it's very rhythm and blues inspired. Um, and if you listen to that, any song from the early 2000s, I find has a little sense of that R&B feel. I don't know if it's from my runs that I do, which is also, from SZA. I love SZA and Kalani and all these other artists that are also R&B. And I think I just kind of taken a little piece of everybody, even Ariana Grande, who's one of my favorite female singers, and tied them into one. And it's kind of this blend of a little bit of everything from my childhood till now. So yeah, I think my voice always changes. Some days I'm more smooth, sometimes more raspy. Like it changes on the day, I think.
Yeah, I think that might be true. What does your songwriting process usually look like from the first spark to the final track?
I think it depends on the song. Sometimes I write with a piano, sometimes I write with a guitar, and sometimes I
Hmm,
just write with melody that comes in my head. So, yeah, I think that writing a song for me, I've written songs in an hour and I've written songs in 3 months.
wow.
So, I think there's sometimes inspiration hits and sometimes it hits, but it just takes a bit more time to kind of decide. And sometimes I'm just obsessed with a melody and it strikes and then words just fly out of me. I don't think there's really a time of like good like start to finish, but I do think that when I get a spark, I make sure to voice memo it and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, I think the I had an artist took them 20 years to finish a song.
There you go.
Yeah, and we do know that "Stairway to Heaven" by Led
Let's
Zeppelin took him 15 minutes to write.
there you go.
Yeah, so this like take your time with a song. You don't want to rush it, you know. But
Yeah.
we really love "Oops." Now that was a
Mhm.
great song. I love the video.
My favorite,
Um,
one of my faves. Yeah.
yeah. Starting from a single word, do you find titles often lead your creative process?
Yeah, totally. I think especially oops, there's so many things that you can kind of go from with that one word. And I think that's kind of what happened with oops is when you think of oops, right away, there's a million things that come to mind, but the number one is Oops, I Did It Again. Obviously, Britney Spears, like you said before.
Yeah.
And that was definitely inspirational for this song. It wasn't random. And we wanted to kind of take the idea of Oops, I Did It Again, but make it a modern day. And also make it a little bit like a little bit more mature, a little more older concepts, a little more just, out there. And I think when we thought of Oops, we didn't want to copy Oops, I Did It Again, but we're like, Oops, I woke up in your bed. And it kind of stuck. Like the line stuck. It didn't really make sense at the time because we weren't really sure where we were going. But I was writing with another writer who I co-wrote this with. Her name is Bela, and she just went, Oops, I woke up in your bed. And I was like, oh, it's kind of catchy. And then we sung it like, Oops, I woke up in your bed. And we're like, okay, no, it's catchy. I don't know what we're gonna do with it, but we're gonna keep it. And we kind of worked around that.
It's really nice. You got a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Um, you're welcome. So, oops, that song really carries a bold, no regret
Yeah,
energy. So,
yeah.
what inspired that confident perspective?
Yeah. Well, I think mistakes are bound to happen as you grow up, and I think I kind of wanted to make a song about, yeah, I made a mistake, but like whatever, no regrets. I'm just gonna like live with it. And I think oops is kind of like the joking part of it. Like, oops, I did this, which is sounds like something, oh, I shouldn't have done it. But then it's like, I know I'm insane, but I don't care. Like it is what it is. I think I'm like 23 years old. I'm out here. It's 2026. I'm living life like, in my music's one thing, but like my personal life and all that stuff is another thing. And I try to take my experiences and put them into a song. However, I have never experienced that song because I'm just not that. I've just never done it. I've always been more of a like a goody two shoes, and I've never actually experienced this, so I was like, I want to put myself in like more of like a bad girl vibe, more of like this girl that I'm not, and just sing about it. And that's kind of what Oops, I Woke Up in Your Bed is. It's kind of like playing a joke and playing a character, which is not me, but it still has nuances of like my character of being like goofy and silly. And honestly, I think oops, I did whatever, it could be replaced. The woke up in your bed could be anything. And I think
Hmm.
it just ties well with the concept of today's world and the music that's coming out today. And just a really fun song. Just it's really fun and playful. Like it's not supposed to be taken seriously. It's supposed to be a joke.
Yeah, it's like the classic cliche, Hallmark movies, drama movies. 51st Dates was Drew
Mhm.
Barrymore. She wakes up in Adam Sandler's character's bed every day, but she had no idea who he is.
51st Dates. Exactly. I
Yeah,
just watched that not too long. I love it. Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah.
exactly like just a goofy spin-off, and
Hmm.
doesn't you don't need to experience every word in your song for it to be true. I think there's a sense of just like a fun character that you can play, and it's probably one of my songs that are the most lighthearted, and that's fun.
Yeah, do you think that a lot of your songs, like for instance, official? No, sorry, official. Feel the Rush, one of your songs as well,
Yeah, well,
and
feel the rush.
Leaves Me is another one.
Yeah, well, those are very upbeat. Those are very upbeat. Feel the Rush is definitely more of an inspirational song. That song is funny because I wrote that in like an hour. That's a
Oh wow.
very bright, positive, inspirational song about, let the music bring us life and how music brings joy,
Hmm.
and music is kind of like the universal language. But Leaves Me is a upbeat song, but with kind of sadder lyrics for sure. But Oops is just pure, playful, silly, just me being fun and letting loose for once on the mic, and just it's just a more mature theme, but it's very fun, and it's kind of tapping into a new era because my older songs are a little more younger and cater to a certain audience, but I want my music now to cater more to an older audience, but also a young one. But as I grow up, I want my music to grow with me and the themes around it to also grow. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like they say, music is life. Live it,
exactly.
love it. use it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I hope to do with my new era. Um, and obviously Feel the Rush is all about that. That's just, Feel the Rush is probably my most true song I've ever wrote because music for me has been my life. And I think that it brings so much joy to everybody in a certain way. It could bring you all emotions, music. And I think it really is like one of the best remedies for any emotion.
Yeah. Jordan, how do you approach collaborating with other writers and producers while staying true to your own vision?
Yeah, I make sure to collab with people who, they want me at the end of the day to have for the song to be the way I want, but they give me direction on the writing because I'm not a perfect songwriter. I know that I'm not a perfect musician. I'm not the best singer, but like I know what I can bring to the table. And if people can pull things out of me, they can pull words that I can't. They can pull emotions out of me that I can never write down on a piece of paper. That's super helpful. And the people that I've been working with on the last few songs that haven't even been out yet, but Ghost and Oops, especially, that's kind of the new era start with new writers and producers. They have helped me tremendously find my voice, my sound, my new kind of path, and my artistic vision. So I've been very grateful to be able to work with them, and they just pull things out of me and allow me to find my voice more than I have ever have. So it's great.
Yeah. So I- every musician writes according to experience. For instance, you familiar with Imagine Dragons?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, my favorite group too.
You're
So
awesome.
Dan Reynolds, his brother's wife Alicia, so she died of cancer. So he wrote the song um, "Wrecked" because of pain that he was feeling, emotional pain he felt because he was close to her. So
Right.
do you think that a song that you write um, has more emotion when you write it for experience and just let's call it oops, they found me in your bed or whatever. Like, I mean, has nothing to do. It's all fun. And how do you feel has more of a the people that listen to that music, are they going to think, oh, wow, what kind of person is she?
Yeah, I think well, I have a lot of songs that are very heartfelt and heartbreak and I think it's okay to feel all of it. I think it's okay to as an artist to experience all emotions and kind of write it all down and put it all out there because there's going to be something for everybody. Um there's people who want those like goofy songs like oops, like almost like a Sabrina Carpenter espresso and there's always gonna be or Justin Bieber yummy. Like it's silly concepts and it becomes what it is. But then there's also like the super sad songs and that caters to another audience or the same person but at a different moment in time. And I think um writing those heartfelt songs and the next one that I plan on putting out, one of the next ones, are about overthinking and anxiety and I
Hmm.
struggle with that too on a lot
Mm.
of ends. So it's okay to kind of feel all of it and I don't feel shame in that cuz we all go through it and we all feel something. So writing those songs are hard and that's why being able to collaborate with people who you can trust in a room to kind of help you get out those feelings even more, those are the people that you want to stick around with because they want you to be satisfied at the end with the result, but they also want you to have fun in the process and feel like you can trust them to kind of make your vision a reality.
Yeah. Now, we know when writing your songs, you balance personal experiences with storytelling and imagination. But um, that track, Oops, again, has a strong early 2000s pop influences, and your sound is brilliant. So, how do you take nostalgic elements and
Mm.
reinvent them in a way that feels current?
That's a great question. Honestly, I give props to my producer for that, Luca. He knows how to do that. I think there's ways also to do that melodically and lyrically. There's certain words that we use that today we wouldn't use. Like we use the word taxi.
Mm.
Um, I don't really hear a song that uses the word taxi, but back in 2000s, they used that a lot. And it was more of a 2000s term, taxi. Now we say Uber, or cab. So I mean, you still say taxi, but there's certain little nuances and words that we might have used that today we don't use as much, just to give a slight nostalgic feeling. The melodies are very nostalgic too. I don't know. The oops obviously adds an element of, oops, I did it again, Britney. So right away you think of that song. So it could put you back in that time if you were around. Um, I think it's also a production thing, and if you listen to the production, there's a lot of nostalgic elements too. But again, I leave that to Luca. He had a lot of say on that part of the production. It sounds amazing though, and I don't know. I think there's a great tie of today because I think my voice is very today. I don't know really what that means, but I think I've just all my experiences kind of put in one. Like all my artistic um idols, like everyone I look up to is just like in one. So I think I take pieces from the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s and 2020s and put them all together into one voice, like huge inspiration from Michael Jackson and those pop elements, but then you pull like some Bieber and Ariana Grande and this one and that one, and it ties into one voice, and I could tap into a little more like brighter pop voice, or I can turn on certain voices certain times, and I've noticed that in my music a lot, how I could play different voices, if I need to be a little more brighter or deeper or darker. So it's just how you play with your voice. And that just takes practice, but yeah, it's very fun to s- do a little different things in each song and experience different things.
Well, you ever heard if you listen to Britney Spears music from the beginning
Yeah.
of, you know, from Hit Me Baby One More Time to the
Hmm.
previous, it all has to do with meeting, a relationship. Like you have Toxic, you have Don't Let Me Be the Last to Know, you have Stronger, you have all those favorite
Hmm.
ones. And, Every Time is a great one. If you
Every
put it all
time.
together, it's sort of like a story of her life. It's really interesting when you think of it that way.
It is.
Um, but you uh, you built your brand around challenging unrealistic standards. Now,
Mhm.
Jordan, where did that mission begin for you?
I think it began from like my childhood when I was growing up. It wasn't mentioned in the bio, but what I could tell you is that I was a very big tomboy. I was a basketball player.
Mm,
I was always with the boys, just basketball, drumming. I wasn't your typical like little girl in a way. I didn't like dolls. I wasn't into that stuff, and I think I was always kind of seen as different in that way. People would always be like, "Oh, you're a tomboy, like you're not your typical like girl." And that when you grow up and you hear that, it didn't affect me in the way that a lot of people would necessarily be affected by it. I saw it as like, this is who I am and I don't really care, because I just love being able to do all these things, and playing basketball and any other sport, soccer, football, you name it. I was always, doing something active. And I guess I want my music to kind of play that part. Like, you can do anything you want. It doesn't matter what you are, who you are. Like, if you want to be the only girl on the basketball court with all guys, like, you go do that. If you want to do something unrealistic, go do it. Like, for me, I want people to just do what they want because they love it, not because others might see it as wrong, or you're not supposed to be doing it because you're not good enough, or da 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 da. So when I first started singing, I had no confidence, and it's because of what happened with Bieber that I'm able to do what I
mm.
do now. So I want people to know that, like, I didn't believe in myself, but I kept going. So if you don't think that you're good enough, sometimes all it takes is just one person to change that. So just keep at it. Never not believe in yourself, and just keep going. And I think that's kind of my brand, especially empowered pop. It's like I try to empower people through my music to do whatever they want in life, because I'm happy I didn't give up on what I really wanted, was to do music and be a singer and get out there. If I told myself I wasn't good from the start, I would have just continued on in school, and I who knows where I would be. So I'm really grateful that I listened to myself and just kept going even when people said I wasn't good, you know?
You could be an Uber driver, a taxi driver.
Exactly.
But
Anything. And nowadays, yeah, anything.
but I know in the States they actually call them cabs. In Canada they're taxi, but then there's that Big Yellow Taxi by Joni Mitchell and those songs like that. But usually Uber, I use an Uber, whatever. Um, but so it's funny is that you would say that it has to be someone famous, well known, to tell you that they want to work with you before you realize that, oh wow, a famous person who's been singing for years wants me. That makes you feel like, oh, I can attain anything. But why couldn't you think of that before? You maybe it was just John Smith up the street. Why do you need someone who's well known to put you there?
Well, honestly, a big part of it was because it was COVID. And when I wanted to start, I had never sang in public before. I wasn't a singer. I sang in my bathroom, in my shower, in my basement. No one heard me. And I truly, how it went is I went up to my sister. It was when COVID hit. It was May of 2020. I wasn't going back to school. And I really wanted to post a singing video on TikTok. And I wanted to see if I can become something from it. And I went up to my sister and I said, honestly, do you think I'm good? And I was 16, she was 11 or 12. And she
Mm,
goes, no, you're actually pretty good. Like post. And I
mm.
said, really? Like, and I feel like if a sibling tells you you're good at something, it's normally a good sign. If my parents, I wouldn't trust them because they're just gonna be like, you're great. But my sister was like, we're super hard on each other. Like, if she's good, I'm gonna tell her. If she's bad, I'm gonna tell her. And she was like, no, like I'm not kidding. Like I wouldn't, if you were bad, I would, I would tell you. And so I posted the video and people were like, "You're so good." But in my head, I'm like, "It's my friends that are telling me I'm good." Like, there's obviously just gonna be nice and common. And I didn't really, I had no followers. I wasn't really trusting anybody. But as I kept going and the followers started and people started rolling in, my confidence was starting to grow. But I didn't really I wasn't able to sing live for anybody. Like you put me in a room with two people, I could not sing in front of them. But I can sing for 10,000 people on TikTok live because I was
Wow.
behind a phone. But as soon as you put me in front of two people, I would freeze up. I would say, "No, I can't." And as soon as Bieber reposted me to his Instagram is when the first day I was able to go into a room of 10 people and sing confidently without feeling as many nerves.
Wow. See, even Justin Bieber thought you had something.
Yeah, well, that's the outbreak. That's the moment that changed everything.
So why did you have no confidence in yourself?
I, I
Like I
just
said.
think I just think it's because like I don't know how to explain it. Like on the basketball court, I was so confident. On the drums, I was confident. I can play for anybody. But as soon as it came to singing, I was very self conscious. I thought I was okay. I didn't think I was terrible. I don't think I would even want to post if I was terrible because I was pretty self aware. And I don't think I would even go to the distance of posting had I really thought I was just okay. But like, I don't know what kind of clicked, but as soon as Bieber was like, as soon as Justin reposted one of my singing videos to a story, is the moment I was like, okay, I'm not just okay. Like I'm past the okay. Like if Bieber was good enough, if I was good enough for him to see it and repost it and share it to his followers, I knew that like okay, I wasn't just good. Like there was more, there was something more there, and I didn't know really what it was, but I just said I'm just going to keep going, and then 3 weeks later Vito called. So it was all a very big domino effect.
You know what I think, Jordan? I think you needed that bit of boost because if
Mm.
Justin Bieber never reposted that video, or
Mhm.
I think you said the manager of Celine Dion, whatever, you probably would be doing something totally different right now.
Oh, totally different. Oh, 100% different. Yeah, no, I needed those two. I needed that to kind of solidify that this was going to be something I could go forward with. um and then it happened, so very, still very grateful. And it's just it's the start of my story, so it will always be it will always be the start of my story.
Oh yeah, keep going. Don't ever give up because I love your work. I love your TikToks. I love your
Thank you.
Instagrams, your song, everything. Yeah,
Thank you
keep
so
going.
much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Keep going. Um, so here's something for you. You're going to think about this one. How would you define empowered pop in your own words?
Honestly, just always having a message of empowerment in my songs and my lyrics, and just hoping that people can connect. Just making sure that the theme is universal, but also is relatable. And if I'm gonna write about a heartbreak, I won't necessarily put a she or a he. I'll just keep it super broad, even if I'm speaking about a he. I'll just
Hmm.
keep it broad and universal so anybody listening could feel empowered by it or moved by it, and not necessarily put like a gender. I really want when people listen to my music for them to be able to put themselves in my shoe or in their shoe, like them put themselves in my shoe and or their shoes, and listen to it the way they want and put their own spin. Nothing's too pinpointed on what it's about. Everything's kind of a very universal broad theme, and it's all just message of empowerment and just inspiring and just hopefully just yeah, just empowering, honestly.
Do you think you could do a cover of Power of Love by Celine Dion?
Maybe in a very low key.
Well, I had an artist the other day, and he does a lot of covers, and I told him about Power of Love and how it
Mm,
can be genderized and everything. He says, "How? Well, easy." So that's how. Well, you know how Celine Dion says, "I'm your lady, you are my man." Well,
yeah,
how did Bocelli sing it? "You are my lady, I'm your man." There you go.
it's reversed it.
You just switched it. Yeah,
There you
but
go.
a song like Beyonce's "If I Were a Boy," I mean, of course you're a boy, but you couldn't really change it. But there's like people do sing songs and they kind of like sing it the way it is, even when it kind of is odd. But
Mhm.
um, so, but in a social media driven industry, Jordan, how do you protect your authenticity and mental well being?
Yeah. I think that I'm always being myself. I think that's number one. Social media could be fake, but I think it's fake if you make it fake. If you're putting yourself out there as you are and getting views because of your personality, your voice, your talent, then I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And protecting myself in ways of, sometimes I post and people send hate comments, and like that's going to happen and that's
Yeah.
okay. And I've even, my most viral videos have hate comments, and there's always positive and there's always negative and there's always like the mids, like where they're just saying something that's not even about your talent. It could be about the subject or whatever. But what I know is that this is who I am, and I'm going to post and put it out there, and it all just carries back to my talent and my voice and my music, and trying to get people to hear my voice and hopefully like it and then go stream my songs. So there's never something I post that's not authentic to who I am, and I never try to be someone I'm not. I've never have, and I never will. And yeah, I just try to never let anything negative, and it always comes back to just knowing where I started from, and you know why I started is because I love music, not for anything else. I love singing. I love drums. I love music. I love performing. There's nothing I love more. So it always, at the end of the day, no matter what hate comments I get, I always tie back. Why did I start? I started because I love music, and things are gonna happen, and you're gonna get hate comments. And you know what? My biggest example is honestly, "Baby" by Justin Bieber on YouTube. His music video has more thumbs down than thumbs up, and if that doesn't
Wow.
speak volume, I don't know what does.
Yeah, but you don't have to give up just because someone gives you a hate comment. Maybe because they're trying to go viral and they can't or something. There's
Oh
always
no,
some.
no, that's what I mean though. I never give up, and I think that's the funny part is I have gotten millions. I've got not millions. I've gotten millions of views on my videos, and from those millions of views, I've definitely got a couple thousand hate comments. Not hate, but like you're not that good of a singer, or which is not hate for me. I don't think it's hate. I think that's just like people are not very. They're just not being nice because they're bored. and that happens. Um, I've never got any like hateful comment. I've gotten just a few like, "You're not that good," or, "You need more practice," or, "Try something else." But I don't see those as hate. I just see those as like stupid little comments, like people are bored, and if their opinion I don't sound good, like that's their opinion. It won't affect me. I know who I am.
Yeah. So don't let anybody drag you down. Just keep going. Just keep
Oh,
pushing through.
never, never, never do. And
Yeah.
I'm still doing it, right? So I've never, I haven't, and I won't.
If you could collaborate, and you can't say I'm Justin Bieber, but if you could collaborate with anybody, not him though, who would it be?
Collaborate with anybody. It would definitely be dead or alive.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Michael Jackson for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, my favorite. He is my top one for sure. Yeah. His music and voice has shaped my sound so much, influenced so much. I do so many covers of his music on my live. Human Nature is probably my number one, honestly, cover that I can perform by him. Just musically, like he's my number one artist for sure.
And what if someone knocked on? Hello, this is Paul McCartney. Are you John Sugar? I'd like to have you write a song, and I can, collaborate with you. Sorry, that's bad.
I'll never say no to Mr. Paul. No, you know what? Honestly, one that would be insane, and because the only reason I'm saying him is because he's actually in the last many years has collaborated with a lot of younger artists would be Elton John. He's
Oh
did a
wow.
song with Britney and did a song with Dua Lipa and Ed Sheeran, and he's my one of my top favorites as well. Elton is one of my faves. Yeah, so he again, I have all those like that influence from that time, and I grew up listening to that music, Elton John, that world, and yeah, he's like one of my top favorites too.
Well, that's cool. So I want to ask you
Yeah.
about AI and music. So AI is becoming a bigger part of music creation. What's your honest take on it as an artist?
Honestly, I don't know if a lot of artists would agree with this, and I don't really know why, but I do understand. I agree that it should not take over the music industry. I do not agree necessarily with an AI singer becoming top on the Billboard. That I don't agree with. What I do agree with though, and I do think it's super helpful, is being able to write using AI as a tool to better your song. If it's giving you a theme or a lyric or helping you with a melody tweak, I don't think there's a big issue with that. I think the issue is like these celebrity AIs that are coming out that are like
Mm,
new hit song and like signing to a record label. That I think is like has to be studied for why this is happening, because why have a robot do it when there's many talented people who could do the same thing. AI is just ai is such a good tool though. Like if you, let's say, and I've had experience with this where, let's say a producer is writing a song and they're not a singer, right, and they need a female voice on a song, and they're a male producer, and they're writing a song, and they want to have like a, let's say they want Dua Lipa on the track, but they don't
hmm.
sound like Dua Lipa, and they don't want to hire anybody to do a demo. What do? You go onto one of these AI platforms and you go, here's my lyrics, take them and make it into a Dua Lipa sounding AI, whatever, and do a demo, and it's super cheap, super quick. You get it in what, 5 minutes, and then you send it to Dua Lipa, and you're like, "Do you like this track?" And it's a vision, and it's a direction, and it sounds very realistic. A lot of AI sounds really cool. I'm not totally in love with the AI again, the AI celebrity taking over, but I do respect using AI to as a tool to help for sure. I don't think
Yeah.
there's an issue with that.
Yeah. Do you see AI as a tool? Yeah, you see it as a tool, but can it enhance creativity, or does it risk taking away from artistry?
I think it depends on the artist. Like if you just want to put out music that's done by AI, I don't think it's necessarily you know, like for me, I would never write a song using AI completely because I feel like I'm not doing anything. But there's a lot of people who can't come up with melodies, but they want to put out a song. So they give it lyrics and themes, and then it creates, and then they're able to do whatever they want to do with it. I've seen a lot of people do that that are not necessarily artists or musicians or singers, but they just want to write a song and be like, look what I did. And it's like their lyrics and like their creativity, but the AI kind of did it for them. It's like paying someone to, here's my lyrics and here's my melodies, but you do it. That's kind of how I see it in a way. I would never let AI do the full thing for me because I don't think that really, that kind of takes away my job. Like my job is to write songs and record them and do all the work. So I would never want an AI doing that for me. No.
I'm going to tell you a secret. So there's I don't know if you ever heard of Rick Beato. He has his own YouTube channel, but
I
he doesn't
don't.
like AI in music. So he was on a talk show, and the host asked him, "Can you tell us how to like?" Okay, the two platforms are Udio and Suno. So he
Yes.
tried one of them, and he said, "Create a pop star." So he created Sadie Winters,
Yep.
and then he put the lyrics through and came up with this great song called "Walking Away." And he said, "That's pretty good." If Rick Beato says he likes it, that's like whoa, because he doesn't really like AI music. So to each his own, you know. But look at it; it's got millions, billions of streams. It's a great song.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. AI is, it's sick, and sometimes you wouldn't even know. Like, there's a lot of artists. Who was it? Was it Post Malone? He says that when he can't come up with a certain melody, he'll go on AI and have the AI do it for him. Not sing it for him, but come up with it and then he'll sing it. So to use it as a tool, it's like having another songwriter. I don't think there's anything wrong with using it as a tool. I think if you're like, I think if you're creative and you want to put stuff out there and use AI to help, that's great. Like do you. Like that's awesome. I've done it before where I
Yeah.
needed help. I don't even think it's AI. I think it could be anything. But I'm not against AI in every sense. I think it's kind of the new world. It's something we have to adapt to. It's something that is going to definitely cause problems along the way, but I don't think it's gonna be a huge issue. I think people know what's real versus what's AI, especially artists. Maybe not listeners, but people who are real artists and musicians know when it's fake. I think not fake because it's not fake, but it's almost too perfect to be real. And that's a problem with AI. There's no imperfection unless you tell it, right? And imperfection sometimes is what creates goodness or like, that sound. So there's a lot of give and take, and I'm not totally for it or against it. I think I'm somewhere almost in the middle because I've worked with AI and I've worked without it, so I kind of know what it's like to work with both.
Yeah, and I had an artist some time ago who said that he uses auto tune for a lot of his music, and I'm like,
Mm.
auto tune, what? Um, and also, yeah. So here's a great closer question for you. So, what advice would you give emerging artists trying to balance technology with staying authentic?
Um, I think it kind of goes hand in hand. Like I'm, I post on social media every day and I stay completely myself. I think not letting numbers get to your head as who you are as a person would be probably my number one advice. I've gotten hundreds of millions of views and I haven't changed as a person. I might have got more confident. I might be a little more out there now. Definitely have a lot more self-confidence than I've ever had. But I've never changed as a person because I have social media numbers or I have followers now. If my friends know I'm the same person I was 5 years ago. I don't plan on changing who I am. I want to stay grounded all the time. Um, you can sniff out when people are changing for the fame, the numbers, the views, and I've hopefully, and I don't want to ever change. I want to remain the way I am and humble. And I think I've done a pretty good job staying humble through the years, especially with everything that I've been able to do. And just always resorting back to just, I love music. That's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it for the numbers. I'm not doing it for the fame. I'm doing it because I just love music. I definitely have had my moments and I try to just resort back and be like, no, you don't want to change, you know?
Well, that's excellent, Jordan. Thank you so much for being on
Mm,
the show, and you're
yeah.
so open and great
Thank you.
talent. Yeah,
Thank
you're
you. Thank you.
welcome. We're going to end the stream. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Thank you for watching. Everything will be linked down below in description. And you listen to her music; she's fantastic. And listen to Oops, I forgot to tell you. Oops, no, listen to Oops, and also another one, Leaves Me, is a good one. Okay, Jordan. So let's end the stream. Wait right there, guy. I gotta make sure I get everything. Okay, see ya.
Bye. Thank you so much for having me.